Hola mi gente, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sean and this is We Are Investing, a channel that's dedicated in investing and personal finance. Anthony Noto is doing a really good job here. Frankly, they did a secondary. It crushed the stock. You know, the stock popped, people felt like they got hurt by it when the secondary occurred, and now I think it's bottomed. Those are the words from Jim Cramer on CNBC's Mad Money during the lightning round when he was asked about SoFi. Now, is that good news or bad news for SoFi? Because there has been some research done by another YouTuber, Graham Stephan, who followed Jim Cramer's stock picks after he recommends them. And typically when he does these kind of recommendations and he's not actually buying the stock, there's a short-term pop called the Cramer pop or the Cramer effect, and then shortly after that, the stock is negative. So honestly, this actually isn't really good news for SoFi in the short term. But I'm here to make everything better. I'm here to tell you all that I will be personally buying SoFi. This is a stock that I think has a lot of potential. Even though I think it's a little bit rich in the valuation, I'm willing to enter into a position now, hold some cash on the side to be able to buy the dip when I think the valuation is a little bit favorable. But either way, long term, I see potential here. I also see a way of making money by selling options against the stock, because right now the implied volatility is good enough for me to make decent money by selling poor man's covered calls. That's the strategy that I'm going to implement in SoFi. I'm going to buy leaps that are in the money and sell calls against them weekly or monthly. This helps with the valuation in my personal opinion because it provides me somewhat of a hedge. And with the leaps and using the poor man's covered call, I don't need as much capital to start a position, which leaves more capital aside so that I can buy any dips that are going to be coming up. And I honestly do believe that we're going to see another dip in SoFi and in the entire market altogether. Because if you take a look at what happened today in the NASDAQ moved up more than 3% in one day. Now you might be saying 3%, so what? That's not a lot. But for a major index like the NASDAQ, it is a lot. And it just makes sense that we're going to get back some of those gains this week. We also have Cramer talking about SoFi, which might not be good for the stock in the short term. But honestly, I don't really care what he has to say. And if he was to actually invest in the company, he's hit a lot of home runs when he actually puts his money where his mouth is. And that would be a good sign. But for right now, he's not personally invested in the company. Now, I've done prior videos where I analyze SoFi. We're not going to go into that level of detail, but I do want to show you in more detail the investing strategy that I have in place for SoFi right now. So with that being said, let's hop on over to the computer. Let's take a look at WEBULL. Let's look at the options chain so that I can better explain this investing strategy to you. Now, if you can do me a huge favor, if you are not using WEBULL, I highly recommend it. And this channel has an exclusive promotional link with WEBULL that can get you 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300. Now, real quick, don't want to waste too much of your time. I want to let you guys know why I think WEBULL is such a great brokerage. You get access to trading at 4 a.m. and it closes at 8 p.m. You can't beat that anywhere else. In addition, there's 0 commissions on stocks and in options. So when you're selling options, you don't have to pay the 65 cents per contract that TD Ameritrade has or some other ridiculous fees. You also can set alerts on stocks so that you're notified when it hits a certain price. This is big when you know what price you want to get into a stock and you're not ready to do it until it gets to that price and then you end up forgetting about it. Well, if you set an alert, you'll be notified on your phone. And the last thing is that you get access to crypto trading as well. So I really do believe it's a great brokerage. There's a link down below if you want to join WEBULL. But let's hop on over to the computer. All right, so here we are. Let's dive into SoFi a little bit. But first, let's talk about that NASDAQ 3%. Huge day for that. index. The S&P 500 up 2%, also a nice day, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 1.4%. So what this is saying is that tech heavy stocks had a great day because NASDAQ is tech heavy and the Dow Jones is a little bit more cyclical and value, and that's why that one didn't move as much today. But a 3% on the NASDAQ is definitely a good day for SoFi, because you would consider SoFi one of those technicals. It's fintech, so it's going to do well when the NASDAQ does well generally. And also, when you take a look at this chart, you can just see that there were so many stocks today that were in the green. 2,380 stocks, 0 to 2%, 5 to 10, 1,000. The advancers were 5,613, and the decliners were 1,788. So the majority of stocks today definitely had a green day. Now, it is my personal opinion that 3% on the NASDAQ is just too much in one given day. So I do believe we're going to give back some of those gains throughout the week. Now, when we take a look at SoFi, the stock is currently trading at $16.84. On the day, it went up 5.73% and an additional 1.32% in after hours trading. Maybe part of that is that Kramer effect that we were talking about. Now, for me personally, I don't buy stocks on green days. I want a red day in order to get into SoFi. That's just the way I operate. I don't like chasing. I don't like buying on green days. On green days, I like selling covered calls. On red days, I like buying calls. So with that being said, let's talk about what call option I'm eyeing up and will most likely buy. When I buy, I'll let everyone know on the Discord, and I'll probably put something out on Twitter as well. Now, this is going to be a leap, and I'm going to get as far out in expiration that I can. And that's 773 days. That's January 19th of 2024. So I got some time here. Things can go wrong, and I will be okay because I have time on my side. And I do believe long term that this company is going to be worth more than it is today. So I think I'll be okay with these leaps. Next up, it's a matter of trying to find the leap that works best for me and my strategy. Because I'm going to be selling poor man's covered calls, I want a high delta, at least 0.9. So I'm looking at the 7.5 strike or deeper in the money. Now, the deeper in the money I get, the less attractive it is for me. Because personally, getting a strike price of $2.50 at around 14 bucks per premium, the mid was $14.35. In order for me to get this call option, I would have to spend $1,435. For me to buy 100 shares, I'm looking at $1,684. So I'm not saving a ton of money by buying the $2.5 strike. However, if I buy the $7.5 strike, I'm spending, the last was $10.20. I'm spending around $1,000. So I'm going to be saving just a little bit more than 600 bucks by using this. I still have a good delta at 0.9. I can sell poor man's covered calls, and I can make money off of those poor man's covered calls. So I'm thinking the 7.5 strike and leave more money on the table during the poor man's covered calls is the way to go. So in my personal opinion, I think the 7.5 to $10 strike is where the best value is right now for SoFi if you're going to be using this kind of strategy. I'm most likely going to do the $7.5 strike. It depends on what I can get filled and for how much. But that's kind of my mindset right now with SoFi. I think it could be a good long-term investment. The valuation is a little bit high right now. I want to be selling poor man's covered calls against my position to hedge myself a little bit. And I also want to be leaving money on the side so that I can buy the dip if the stock was to get back down to $14, $13, or $12. It is around $12 to $13 that I think that this stock is an absolute steal, and that would be the bottom in my personal opinion based on valuation. So I'm okay entering into a position now on the next red day, and that's personally what I'm going to be doing. All right, mi gente, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I thank you so much for your time. If you like this video and the content that I am providing, please consider hitting that subscribe button, ringing that bell, and smashing that like button to let YouTube know that you like my videos. I would really appreciate it. You can also join the Patreon. It will give you access to a private Discord server, to weekly reports, to weekly meetups, and to spreadsheets of valuations. All of that for just $5 a month. Oh, and before we sign off, let me know in the comment section down below if you think Kramer talking about SoFi is actually good or bad for the stock, because there's a lot of people that love him and a lot of people that hate him, and I'm just curious what my followers think about Jim Kramer. But outside of that, I'll catch you all on the next video. It's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun. And this is We Are Investing, and together we are invincible.